The Gilded Age, a time of rapid economic growth, innovation, and the rise of some of history's most influential business tycoons. But behind their fortune lies a question. Were they captains of industry or complete robber barons that exploited for personal gain? These are the era's six most powerful figures, and we've ranked them on a tier list.
J.P. Morgan, the king of finance, revolutionized American banking. Morgan wielded immense power by consolidating industries such as steel and railroads. He orchestrated the merger that created U.S. Steel, the first billion-dollar corporation, and then proceeded to bail out the U.S. Treasury during the Panic of 1895, which he used for personal gain. However, his financial practices often favored the elite and benefited from American taxpayers. He was more of a captain of industry with some questionable tactics. Kind of good. John D. Rockefeller revolutionized the oil industry with Standard Oil, building an empire controlling 90% of U.S. oil production. Rockefeller built unprecedented wealth by negotiating secret rebates with railroads and crushing smaller competitors. His philanthropy cannot be ignored. He funded the University of Chicago and medical research, leading to breakthroughs in healthcare. Despite his generosity, his business practices led to Sherman Antitrust Act and eventual breakup of Standard Oil. A mix of visionary and exploiter. Kind of evil.
Andrew Carnegie, the steel magnate, is the definition of the American dream. He started off as a poor immigrant, and through time he built Carnegie Steel, which completely fueled America's industrial growth in the time. However, his fortune was at a moral cost, as the Homestead Strike of 1892 highlighted the harsh conditions that were faced by his workers, and his use of Pinkerton agents to suppress the strikes marred his reputation. However, towards the end of his life, he wrote the book The Gospel of Wealth, based on philanthropy, and he encouraged the rich to give back, and he donated 350 million to libraries, universities, and culture institutions, and then founded Carnegie Mellon University. Jay Gould was a master manipulator, and he earned infamy for his role in the 1896 Black Friday gold scandal with Fisk, where he and his partner cornered the gold market, bribed government officials, including President Ulysses S. Grant's brother-in-law, and their manipulation caused gold prices to skyrocket, and after which they sold on the high, leading to a market crash that devastated farmers and investors while gold walked away with immense profits. And his anti-labor stance was brutal, to say the least.
Cornelius Vanderbilt was a dominating force in the transportation industry, building a fortune through ruthless business tactics in steamboats and railroads. He first made his mark by monopolizing steamboat routes, using predatory pricing techniques to drive competitors out of business before raising prices after he had control. Later, he shifted to railroads, where he manipulated stock prices, bribed legislators, and engaged in hostile takeovers, including the infamous Erie War against Jay Gould and James Fisk.
Leland Stanford built his fortune through railroad monopolies and political corruption, playing a key role in founding the Central Pacific Railroad and the Transcontinental Railroad. As a governor of California and later on a U.S. senator, he used the political influence he had to secure massive government contracts and land grants for his railroad company, playing into his monopoly. He profited immensely while taxpayers shouldered the burden, and his companies relied heavily on cheap Chinese labor, and he paid them significantly less than white laborers and forced them to work in dangerous conditions.